Welcome to Raise the Anchor, the podcast that explores what happens when we stop drifting and start choosing. I'm your host, Melissa Burbridge, and each week we dive into real, raw stories of transformation, moments when people dared to raise the anchor and change course. Whether you're navigating chronic illness, burnout, big life pivots, or healing from the inside out, you'll find inspiration and truth here on Raise the Anchor. This is your space for honesty, hope, and the courage to begin again. Let's raise the anchor and set your course.
This episode is sponsored by Capture Photography, headshots for people who hate having their photos taken. Highly recommend. Today on the show, we have brought back Jenna Ross, one of my biggest inspiring women. I so love having her back. She went from having an IT business to property management. She's grown a property management, has children, has a real estate investing business, and you have a new venture, which I can't wait to share with our guests on there. I have no idea how you do it. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Melissa.
So your new venture is completely different than property management. Mm-hmm. Can you let us in on that new venture?
Yeah, so what you're speaking of, it would be the Nova Scotian Cookie Company. And so it's an idea that came to me on October 15th of 2021 during the pandemic. I had my human design chart read, and it gave me permission to be an entrepreneur. I realized I'm a serial entrepreneur and that there's a cookie company that was trying to get outside of me. So immediately after my human design session with Dawn, I decided to start the cookie company.
That's amazing. And it's so different.
Yeah.
The real estate investing goes along with the property management. It's almost like hand in hand.
Yes.
So 3 businesses.
Yeah.
Your husband works a lot as a real estate person. And you have 2 very busy children and 2 dogs.
And 2 dogs.
How do you do it? So what inspired you to want to get into the cookie? Like, I know you did your human design, but why cookies?
I know. So I was talking to the business partner that I started the cookie company with originally, and we were looking at multiple ideas, and we had some ideas for starting a real estate investing company together. That's what we both knew. That's how we met. And that just seemed easy, and it just seemed like we were forcing it and trying to buy a property just to get that started. But we had also talked about a lot of different ideas, and the one that really resonated with me was the cookie company, which is modeled loosely after the Honolulu Cookie Company in Hawaii. So pineapple-shaped shortbread. And, so it's modeled loosely after that because really with the branding and everything took it and made it its own unique thing. So sharing the love of Nova Scotia with the world is where it ended up going. So,
and I love the shape. It's a lighthouse, which is perfectly fitting for Nova Scotia with Peggy's Cove and some of our other famous lighthouses. Which is beautiful. And it has opened up so many doors for you. You have gone to LA. You've gone to Italy. You've just done so many amazing things with this cookie company. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so I didn't know originally that it was going to take me traveling the world, but I kind of used it in that way to reach out to people around the world and share the love of Nova Scotia with the world because I'm passionate about Nova Scotia business, social enterprise, and so in the very beginning, I had a contact in Bangkok, Thailand, and he does work with CanCham. So we sent the cookies over to the Air Canada inaugural flight Christmas party there. And so Derek, my contact, helped me get the cookies there. And that was an adventure in its own and super fun. And then from there, it was just, opportunities. I was saying yes to opportunities that lit me up. And so, and it just kind of snowballed.
And the adventure in LA, that was like so unique and amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, that was super fun. Yeah, so our cookies, I traveled with the family. The whole family came on that trip, and we went to Los Angeles at the Lux Hotel, and so got to give cookies away to nominees of the Emmys and the Golden Globes at the DPA pre-Golden Globe gifting suite.
And I'm sure that was never on your bingo card. Like, one day I want to go to the Golden Globes and Emmys to give them cookies.
Right. Yeah. And the interesting thing about that was that the actor-writer strike was happening. And originally what I had signed up for, which seemed pretty, achievable, was the TIFF Toronto International Film Festival. So that's where I was supposed to go. But because of the situation, they quickly pulled out of there for that year and offered me the spot at the Golden Globes gifting suite.
Toronto, LA. I think that was a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I thought, wow, this is really exciting. I mean, obviously, when you hear an opportunity like that, you get your butterflies in your stomach. It lights you up. That's easy to say yes to and figure out the details afterwards.
And I love that you listen to what lights you up. With the human design, we've talked about it on a few of these episodes right now. And certain people have to listen to what lights them up, listen to their gut, listen to their head, different things like that. So I love that piece. You've had a fashion show, so you went from IT to property management to doing your cookies that have taken you into hosting a fashion show. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I like connecting people, so that's one big theme through all of my life and businesses and my corporate IT career that I came from. And IT was never meant for me.
I can't see you behind a computer all day. Well, you are, but in a different capacity.
Yes, and I joke that the thing that I got through IT is my career and everything is that I met my best friend, and she's like family to me, Catherine Ann. So that had its purpose. And then, when my girls were born, I needed to get out and get out of the corporate world. It just wasn't working with our youngest being sick. And so I did that. So it's been 9 years that I've been fully self-employed, self-sufficient on my own, what I eat, what I kill kind of situation.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And so you were asking about the fashion show. So Halifax Fashion Week. And that was really interesting, too, because I've always loved fashion. I did for fun just fashion shows in my high school. I did a for fun fashion show at University in Texas my first year. So I'm interested in fashion. And the connection came because my osteopath, I was in, still seeking recovery from my accident that I had, but my osteopath turns out that he's a fashion photographer. So when I went to, when I was getting ready to go to Germany and we went to Paris and things like that, he happened to say, are you going to Paris Fashion Week? Because it's around that same time. And then we got talking, and then I realized, oh, he's got friends that have fashion lines and things. And then when I went to Los Angeles, it was really interesting because I met connections who I was able to introduce to him, Blair, and I was able to make connections for him. And then some of the models ended up getting photos that he had submitted to a magazine in Los Angeles from the connection, and just really interesting connections. And then when I was in Los Angeles, I met Tracy Metallic, who's an Indigenous designer, and I connected her to Halifax Fashion Week. And I said to Tracy, wouldn't it be interesting if Jen Harper from Cheekbone Beauty, she spoke at the Halifax Chamber Wonder Woman. Is it Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman conference it was. I want to say Superwoman.
Well, there are so many Superwomen, but
there are. Yeah, so I saw her speak there, and I was just blown away. And I said to Tracy, do you know Jen Harper, who's an Indigenous business owner of Cheekbone Beauty? And she's like, well, we might have mutual connections. And I was like, how cool would it be if the models wearing your Indigenous clothing brand wore Jen Harper's makeup? What would you think about that? And she was like, well, that would be cool. So I didn't know Jen Harper, but I reached out to her and made that connection. And of course, I sent her cookies and the Indigenous Women in Business book that we sponsored and a little care package. And then we had a call, Blair and Soli and Tracy and Jen. And right away, Jen Harper was like, yeah, I want to sponsor Halifax Fashion Week with makeup. Her grandmother is from Cape Breton, so she has a connection to here. And so that happened. And a few more connections, and then the next thing you know, Soli and Blair said, we're so thrilled and we're partnered together. So the cookie company was sponsoring Halifax Fashion Week, and then somehow the next thing you know, they ended up walking on the runway, the models, wearing Jen's makeup, Cheekbone Beauty, and wearing cookie company aprons.
I know, it's so cute.
And carrying suitcases, right? So, yeah, it was
very
awesome.
maritime and unique and not expected, but it fit.
It fit, yeah. And I got to sort of engage with a lot of the models, and they were selling. They were using some of the cookie product, and so I got to engage with them because they were doing some fundraising. So got to know everybody, and it was really cool. Yeah.
And you've gone to Germany for a trade show.
Yes.
And from that fashion show, you've also gone over to Italy and done some pretty cool things there.
Yeah.
It's taking you everywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, I think when the roundtable mastermind experience to Italy came up, it wasn't related, but I was like, okay, it was Lori and Chris Harder, and I've been following both their podcasts for many years. One of the first podcasts I listened to was Lori's, because she has the Earn Your Happy podcast, and I've been following her for a number of years. And when the opportunity came up for that experience, it was again like a hell yes, I want to go. And then there was the element of having dinner with the Ferragamos family, James Ferragamo and his wife. And I thought, okay, it can't be a coincidence that there's fashion here, and I don't know. Soli Management and the models were going to Milan. Blair was going for Vogue, and they were doing a fashion show. So I was like, I need to go for them as well as myself. It was
it's Italy. How is that Adele?
Yeah, so I was sort of on a mission to try to get some connections made there. And
the gown and the photos, they're amazing.
Yes, and the gown that I wore was Cush Massage. So Blair connected me to Cush, and yeah, she's got incredible designs. It was so fun. I felt like a princess. the opulence of that trip and the experiences where it was a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, it looked like it. It definitely screamed off your Instagram stories. And I'm sure your Instagram stories are only a snapshot of the whole adventure.
Yeah.
And you got to
incredible.
take Greg with you, which is amazing.
Yes.
And you've gotten to take your girls on some of these amazing trips too.
Yes.
Which is so inspirational. And I'm sure they look at you and are like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So you have a pretty decent support system because you run 3 businesses.
Yeah.
So what does that look like day to day? Are you like fully dipped into each business? Are you a step back? Because I know when I worked at Happy Place, you were very much invested and you were trying to take a step back and let the business be self-run.
Yeah.
What does everything look like now?
So now, like, things are different. I managed, kind of out of necessity to build a team and remove myself from the day-to-day stuff. It's hard to give up a lot of the tasks.
It is.
It is hard. Because when I started the business, it was just me, and I did absolutely everything.
Even digging in the sewer.
Everything. Yeah, like dirty things. Just everything you can possibly imagine. Sales, marketing, and administration. And so now the team handles most of the day-to-day stuff. So I'm really able to be the chief visionary officer that I call myself, managing the vision and also supporting the team. So I'll have calls with Vicki, who's the manager now.
Amazing person.
I know. And so I'll have calls with her when there's things going on. And and the team, we have a weekly team meeting and go through, I'm following along, making sure everybody has what they need. And as we're busy right now, that's really important to make sure that people's workload is manageable and that we are managing the stress that can sometimes, helping them and looking when things are stressful to try to remove some of that and spread it across the team so that we're, so that's.
And what's it like with the cookie company and the real estate investing? Because you also hold monthly meetups with your investors. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah,
we've switched the meetups to bi-monthly, but we still really enjoy that, educating people and just educating our investors as things shift, because the market has shifted a lot in the last 5 years. And the real estate investing side, it's been a little bit less. Like, we just sort of are managing the portfolio that we've acquired. It's not huge. It's just, it's an investment for the future. Greg and I have added a 4-plex. We bought our partners out. And then, and you probably aren't even aware, but we ended up buying a sort of like a cottage in Wentworth with a couple other families for skiing. And so it's a rental, and we've gotten the chance to enjoy it as well, but it's been a big renovation project for the last basically 12 months.
That must help in ski season, because I know we've gone skiing or had our daughters go skiing together, and it's a process, and then you're there for the day, and then you're kind of tired by the time you want to go home. So now you can go back to the cottage. I love that for you.
It's a minute drive from the ski hill at Wentworth. So that's been fun, and it's been, a little project to get our hands dirty and pick away at that and get it ready. And so that's been nice, and we share it with 2 other families. So we've been able to share the big project, and it's finally completed, and we have people renting it right now. So
nice. And you have help with the cookie company.
And help with the cookie company, So I have Donna. A lot of people who are aware of the cookie company will know Donna. She's everywhere. And from day one, when I told her about the idea, she was so excited. So I'm lucky in both my businesses that I have staff who are like business owner mindset, that they really they're passionate about what they do and enjoy it. So that's been huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that because you have so many things and you're so passionate and involved. It's nice that you have a team that can support that piece so you don't burn out.
Yes.
That you can be present with the girls because they're growing.
Yes.
They're older.
Yeah.
One's in high school.
Yes.
And the other one's in middle school.
Yeah.
So that's like big changes.
13 and 15. So two teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it lovely?
Two teenagers. Yeah. And and I know, like when you have teenagers, they're trying to get their independence, but they also need you more than ever. So it's like, it's fun. It's precious, but it's also scary.
Very scary. We won't touch on that because I will cry again. If you could speak back to yourself before all of these businesses, before you left IT, or even with the property management, what would you say to yourself?
I'm thinking back to when I graduated from university and I had a huge debt load and I was having a hard time finding full-time employment. And I would tell myself it's all going to be okay because financial stress can be so huge. And I guess part of me wishes that I knew that you can take the time and do what you want to do because I went into IT and it was out of necessity for needing employment. But anyway, I mean, life has... Yeah. I think I would tell myself that everything's going to work out. So...
What unexpected lessons have come from your experience, good or bad?
The lessons would be that when I already had a business, it was like, do I really need to start the cookie company? But there was a part of me that really needed to know. And I think the lessons are that, just get started. Like, life is too short to have any kind of regrets around something that you wanted to try that you didn't try.
No, I love that. One of our previous guests said even just dipping a toe in is a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you stay anchored now, even as you keep moving forward? You have multiple businesses, kids, a busy life. How do you stay anchored into your now and present?
Yeah, I think I've sort of gone through a year of transformation with, I have a business coach and she's very spiritual and she's been giving me a lot of guidance. And so that's been keeping me grounded and like realizing that I don't need to force anything because I always want to make something happen, but to just kind of trust the universe and let things unfold as they will.
Love that. What does a brighter future look like for you today, and how is it different from what you imagined?
Yeah, so I think for me it's a lot about legacy, and in that I'm like learning a lot about legacy being what you do right now, like, and it does come down to being present with your kids, enjoying the journey, enjoying the businesses that I started. There's always going to be good and bad parts about it, difficult parts, challenging seasons, but just enjoying the journey.
I like that.
Yeah.
You also do a lot of public speaking, more and more. And I know you were very scared to get into it. I remember going to Corey's class about public speaking before, and you were nervous to do it. Now I see you're public speaking everywhere. Every time I look at your socials, you're speaking somewhere. I love it for you. How is that? What was that journey?
So the journey's been interesting. So yeah, I did take Corey's. I took a course with Corey, did some work with Corey, and ended up going and speaking at Harvard. And that was awesome. Greg and the girls came for that one. And I also took a public speaking course with Mark Black, who I went to high school with, and in Moncton. And that, kind of exposed me even more to kind of learn about the business of public speaking. And so I've been focusing a lot of my thoughts and energy around what do I want to speak about, and what I do want to speak about. I've sort of discovered, because I'll be launching a podcast and working on a podcast around it, is the ultrapreneur mindset. And that's, having multiple businesses, or, even one, and managing a life and kind of the full package of what that looks like. So yeah, public speaking is interesting. It's something that, I'm interested in, and I will be doing more of. And it's, for me at this point, is more of a sort of something that I'm working on, dabbling in, and trying to do more of it. Because I remember my mom saying, she had a quote written down, "A writer writes," in our home, because she wanted to write. And it's kind of like that, a speaker speaks. So if I had it on my LinkedIn for a long time that I'm a speaker. So you have to.
You wanna do the speaking.
I don't want to just say it. Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely love that you're getting back into the podcast world.
Yes.
Because your old podcast, I listened to every episode.
Yes.
Kind of had to, but right. I love it because you're such a good speaker. So I love to hear that you're getting back into that world.
Yeah, it's going to be different. Like, it took me a while to figure out, was I going to do keep going with another season, but I'm going to do something completely different, to kind of marry the two different businesses that I have.
I love that so much, because I do think if you went back to the happy place, which I loved, that would pigeonhole you into the real estate investing.
Yeah.
So where can the Anchor crew follow up or connect with you?
So on LinkedIn, you can find me, Jenna Ross. You can follow my socials, so Happy Place Property Management on Instagram and Facebook, and the Nova Scotian Cookie Company, NS Cookie Co. on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Awesome. So who or what inspires you? I know you hate this question.
I get inspiration from a lot of different people, honestly. Like, it's a lot of, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I would say that's where I get a lot of my inspiration and ideas from. Yeah.
No, I love that. You had an answer this time. Last time it took a little while, so I like that you have the answer this time. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Melissa.
Thanks for tuning in to Raise the Anchor. If today's episode spoke to you, share it with a friend or leave a review. It helps more people find their way to healing and hope. Follow along on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube for behind the scenes, extra content, and real life moments. And be sure to join the email list at linktree/Raise the Anchor, so you never miss an episode. Until next time, here's to calm waters, steady winds, and the courage to chart your own course.